Mesachta Avoda Zara Daf Ayin Amud Aleph.
This.
Daf Ayin Amud Aleph, and we're starting from Samach Tes Amud Beis.
On the last stretch.
Yeah, on the last stretch.
What's that?
We're finishing the Mesachta now. Samach Tes Amud Beis Amud Aleph, the second line from the bottom. So in the Mishnah we had learned that we're not concerned about Nisuch Yayin Nesach when a Yid is watching over it. Amud Rabba. Zoyna Yivetz Gechavim, a Goyish prostitute.
The Jewish ones also?
We're talking about a Goyish prostitute. We're going to talk about the Jewish one soon. Samach Tes Amud Beis.
So that's the
Amud Rabba. So Rabba had said if there was a Zoyna prostitute that was a Yivetz Gechavim, that was a Goya, and the men are sitting together with her. Chamra Shari, the wine, we don't have to worry it's going to be Yain Nesach. They're not going to be because they hear the Takalu Yitzhak Davida, even though they have a big Yitzhak to live with her, with the Zaina.
forgot about the wine.
Aber Yitzhak Yain Nesach like Takalu. But the Yitzhak for Yain Nesach is nicht as stark that they're going to drink Yain Nesach. I told you the story. The Yidden. I told you I had Whitey, who sold the used refrigerators. His name was Whitey on Utica Avenue. He used to put on film. I used to buy by him the second-hand fridges for the buildings. So he tells me, I asked him, you want to put on film? He says, no. I said, why not? He says there was a Yidden with Steinlach that came and to his hotel in the upstairs in the Catskills. And then he come with Zainas. He says,
With what?
with Zainas, with the Krasnoy. He says, how could it be? He spoke up Polish Yiddish. He came as a tun. He says, ein Sach hat nicht zu tun mit dem zweiten. One doesn't have to do with the other. And they'll say here, they have a Yitzhak for Zainas, but Labdavke for Yayin Nesach.
But he can
Regular
regular wine.
wine, and say, no, who got him? You know, Stefan said there was somebody who was in the hospital sitting next to him. It was Pesach, and he was eating McDonald's food, and he was next to that was Pesach. She was eating matzah. He says, what else do you eat? She says, yes, Knedlach and soup. Gebrachs. You know, there's some people that are Hudarim, and it's hard to strum at the traitor, you know.
So they have the tradition.
Tradition, yeah. Zoyni is Heilis, but a Yiddish Zoyna, but you have the Goyma that's sitting with the Yiddish Zoyna. Then also, you can't drink that wine. For the wine belongs to the Yisraelis, because my time, what's the reason? Since she's cheapened their eyes, because she was mafka herself. So then, Basayu Geira, so she, whatever they want, she follows. And they can turn it into Yain Nesach. She can't stop it. She won't protest it. Okay. Sagt Yimara, whose wine does it belong to the woman. The Zaina.
The Zainas came with wine.
No, over here, this second case belonged to the Zaina. The first case belonged to the men who was with the Zaina. Ahubi said, there was this one house. In it was wine that belonged to a Yid and a Goy. They were shutfin. All over the Goy went into the house, shuts the lock, and he's alone with the wine.
How did they separate the wine when they were partners?
They were partners. They knew they have to sell it to Yidden. They sold it to Jews. They were in business together. But there was a peephole in the door that you could see right through what's going on. Says Yimara, at the end, the Goy was found in a place where the Yid could see him. Amarava called the Hadi Biza, all those barrels that were facing the people that he could see. Shari, that's mutter. We don't have to worry that the Goy touched that wine because he knows the Yid is watching over. He can always look in the people. But Haigis also. But if it's on the sides where the people cannot see, then we have to be chesed that they touched it and it's also. It's another story, a third story. We're going to go through 12 stories now.
This was like a storage room?
It was a house, a storage room, yeah. like a storage room, correct.
Some barrels belong to the Jew. Some
No, they were shutting in all of them.
That's what
They
it's
sold
like
it to the
in the
Yidden.
storage.
They were a wine store.
It doesn't mean it's yain nesach till the guy touches it, right?
Right, so but we don't know if the guy touched
Who
it.
prepared the barrels?
It was watched. The guy was watched under the guidance of Jews.
Touching doesn't make it yain nesach.
Touching the wine does. Yes.
You touched the barrel?
The barrel not. The wine. That's a wine.
It was-
So we have to worry that he did, because this is when I guess Zach by say any chance they had a chance to do it into Yain Nesach by days they given a ganze Kedusha the goyim. Nicht nur Uptown with a bunch
Money,
of
no?
I don't know worth more money if I can't. Who come because you want to sell to Yidden? Who come?
Sell to the cloister,
No, he wasn't selling to the Klois. He was selling to Yidden, but he by him the mitzvah of making it to Yain Nesach was a big thing by them, by the guy. Another story. There was the Yain that belonged to Yid that was in a house with 2 floors. The Hava Doyer Yisobal Yaina. The Yid lived on the upper floor. And the guy lived on the bottom floor.
And the wine was in this house.
And the wine was on the bottom floor, and the Yid could always see through, so the guy would not touch it. Shama Kol Tigra. They heard the sound of fighting outside. Nafke, so both the Yid and the guy ran out. What's this fighting? And then, let's say there was gunshots, so everybody ran in. Kodam, Osir, explosion right next to my mother's house, yeah.
When?
2 days ago, 3 nights ago. Sunday, yeah.
Something?
No, from the street, it blew up.
Oh, yeah, well,
The basement, it came from her basement, Ribbomer Rivka's basement.
who's
Blew
missing?
up. Willa.
Was that-
But everybody's alright. Explosion. So the guy ran into the house, and of course, and he closed the lock on the door. So he's the guy is alone, and the
You
Yid,
can't see it.
so the Yid cannot see it. He's outside, locked out. It was one door, and the Yid would have to run up to the second
Did you
floor.
wanna see through the hole of the key?
No. We're saying no, not this case. So it was one door, and the Yid had to run through that one door upstairs, and the guy downstairs. So the wine is mutter, because maybe the guy might say to himself, I know, just like I ran from the gunshot into the house. The Yid even ran faster. He ran upstairs before me. Who knows? The Kachazalin, he's watching me right now, so I'm not going to even try. Maybe he's upstairs. So he's afraid, that's why he's not going to touch it. The Gemara had the meaning of mirtas. Mirtas. If a guy is afraid, you don't have to worry that he touches the wine.
Partners in the same. Two people have partners in the same.
Yeah, even if they're partners, but if the Yid is not looking, you have to be chesh. The guy is going to turn into Yain Nesach.
Yeah, but a partner knows the other person doesn't.
He knows that the Yid doesn't want, but if he doesn't know, if he knows that the Yid won't find out, he's fine with that.
Fight one day, that's all.
Ahu is Spiza, the Havi Yosef Bechamad Yisrael. There was this inn in this like a hotel that the Yain of a Yid was there. Ishtakach in the hotel, he found he finds a guy who's standing around, sitting around between the barrels. If he would have touched the barrels, and he would have been considered as a ganef, and he knows if he gets caught, he's like a ganef and he's going to sit in jail. So he's shutty. Then you don't have to worry he touched the wine, because he doesn't want to be caught as a ganef. The Indian for mirtas means the fear as the front. Ayira, you don't have to worry.
Same thing happened with Simcha, where he took with the tefillin. You don't know the story.
No.
He was arrested. He went to 770 and took tefillin, and you can see they have it on video. He took the tefillin, and they went and arrested him. But they told the judge that I took the tefillin. I want to go put on tefillin. The judge let him go. The judge was a Jew. He was the tefillin was chafruma.
I have a similar story I'm going to tell you soon, but I just want to catch up a little. Yeah.
But the guy that threw him back, that's the
I'll tell you a similar story.
Against the shul, they said, get out, because they all saw it. There's all advertised.
Right.
These are all the gun over in Crown Heights.
Wow.
He took it to someone's film to put it on. All of a sudden,
No.
He's a crazy guy. He's a red guy.
Yeah, Eli. But if not, if the guy has a excuse why he's allowed to be there, So Asir, then it's us to touch the wine, because if he has some kind of excuse, the government lets me here, whatever. Yeah. Ahu Shebechinam, yeah.
Another case, right?
A new case. Ahu based the Habi Yosef Chamra. There was a house in it was lying wine of a yid. And you found the guy standing between the barrels. Amarabba, if the guy has a reason why he's there, that he was allowed to be there, so then the Chamra is also, the Chamra is also. Right? No, so he Kataina, I heard a roar of a lion, I ran in there, and that's why I was there. If he gives such an excuse, so he's not afraid to be there between the wine. But if he doesn't have any excuses, then the mutter, and he's afraid he'll be caught as a ganav, then the wine is mutter. Yeah. May say, effect the Gemara Akasha on the Harira of Rava from the following Braisa. Because what did the Rava paskin?
Because it's not that if there's a way to...
If he could see through it, yeah.
Yes.
If he could avoid the charge of robbery, then you have to be clear that he touched the wine, and it's usher.
Because he's not afraid.
He's not afraid. The whole Indian is mirtas. There's in Shulchan Aruch it says that if there's the fear on the guy, then it's mutter. That's Shulchan Aruch. May say so. The asked on the Hira of Rav from the following Braisa. A Yisrael that left a guy alone with the wine in the inn, and when he came back, Ninala Pundik, the guy, the Yid found that the guy closed the door. Or Shah Yisrael Amalai, the Yid said to the guy, stand outside the inn, don't go inside. Ushmeir, and watch it till I come back. Usser. The wine is usser. My love.
He was in there
Huh?
already.
But L'cheira, but we said my love, isn't that not? Afagav the less even though he doesn't have any excuses being inside the inn between the wine. So L'cheira, you said if there's a fear that he'll be caught as a ganav,
It's all right.
it should be usser. I mean, it should be mutter. And here you said it's usser. Why should it be usser? Says Gemara Loi. The reason why it's usser because that case was talking about with the Islay Lishtamute, that the guy had a way, a reason. He said that the enemy, he had guys chasing him, and he had to run in. That's why he ended up there. He gave a story that he was being chased by his enemies.
So then it's also.
Then it's us. Then it's us. Correct. He says, "Ledugma he locked the door so that the enemy should not be able to come in." Zakti about a new story. Then
Then he's not afraid to do what he has to do.
and therefore he's not afraid to touch the wine because he has an excuse. He has like an alibi for himself. There was this Yidden guy that they were sitting and drinking wine together. Shami Yisrael called and he heard the sound of davening. He says, come. He got up in the middle of the Suda. Mincha, slichas. He jumped up. He ran to shul. The wine is mutter. Why? Because the guy will say to himself, the minute that the Yid will remind himself that he left the wine there, he's going to come back and run for the wine. You know the Satan Rabbi says, why are all the Yidden the wealthiest we're the smallest nation and we're the biggest grain come out of the Yidden. Because he says 3 times a day. Yeah, it says drei Mal Tagen sei wegen business. My shach is mincha ma'akev. Okay. Ahu Yisrael you see the Arba that there was this Yid and guy that was sitting in a boat, and Shami Yisrael called. She put it in the Beis Shimshon, and he heard the siren from the Shabbos siren. They nashmashes. Oh, nafak ba'azal. He went out. Okay, I don't know if it was in Crown Heights, but yeah, he heard his siren. Nafak. He jumped. He went out. Ba'azal. And he went home. Amarabba Chamra Shari. The wine is still mutter. Oh, why? Meima He's going to say Hashem Mitchil like Lechamre V'Hadasi. The moment he'll remind himself about this wine, he'll come back on Shabbos. So the Mishum Shapsa. Are you going to say Shapsa? He's not coming back. Shabbos.
Yeah, Shabbos is not
He's not coming. My Rabba said, Rabba said, I'm like Isa Giyaira. Isa, who became a gay, but before he was a gay, he says, when I was a guy, together with my friends, we would say, Yehudai loy mantre Shabbos. Shabsa. The Yidden are not Shema Shabbos. The Yidden Shabsa, because if they would watch the Shabbos, they would find a whole bunch of wallets in the streets because
Shabbos comes, they forget.
Shabbos come and they forget and they have to drop the wallets. We don't find any wallets in the street. There's a problem over here. They're not Shema Shabbos. But we didn't know, says Isser, the sweet Allah Kirab Yitzhak, that we hold like Rab Yitzhak, Rab Yitzhak, Shabbos. Somebody who finds a fat wallet on Shabbos, there's a way to protect him. He walks less than 4 hours. He goes 3 steps, stops, and goes another 3 steps, till he till he. It's not muksa. Have said in this Rabbi Yitzchak made that. So I don't know if this joke goes well. You know, they say three Chassidim were bragging about the Rebbe. One bragged and says that my Rebbe, even has traffic for Shabbos, and we had to make it before Shabbos. He said, traffic here, ich fahr durch, and the traffic moved to the sides, and he made it. Then he says, my Rebbe is noch größer. He says, there was a big fire, we had to durchgehen the fire, we couldn't get through. He says, fire him, fire her, und bis the Chassidim sind durchgegangen. He said, unser Rebbe is the größte. So he went a wallet with $10,000 from the floor, and he said, Shabbos ahin, Shabbos aher, and he took the $10,000. But there's nothing wrong with it, because he no less than 4 hours. What's the joke? It's not a joke anymore. He was allowed to do what he did. It's not a nest, and it's not such a joke anymore. The joke is that he took the money on Shabbos. You're allowed. He was the din, yeah. But usually they make a joke out of it. Sometimes he thinks it's not such a joke.
entertainment tomorrow.
Huh?
I said this is entertainment.
Entertaining you, yeah. There was one time that there was a scream of a lion out in by the vat where the wine barrels were. The guy heard it. He went and he hid between the barrels. Amarava, so Rava said, Chamra, by the Benegay to the wine, is Shari's mutter. Because he will say to himself, just like I ran between the barrels to hide from this lion, the Yid did the same, and he sees me, and he sees me. So he's not going to touch it. Hanu Gambe, the Solkele Pumbedisa, there was these Ganavim that went to Pumbedisa and opened up a whole bunch of barrels. Amarava Chamra Shari. Rava said the wine is mutter. My timer, Ruba Ganavi. Most of the Ganavim in Pumbedisa, Yisomina, were Yidden. So Shagarim, you don't have to worry. So I was telling you that a similar story to what he said, but this is in the old times that there was a Yid that stole a lot of money, and so the cop caught him. So he and it was Erev Shabbos. He came and he told the cop, "Here's money, just let me go." He bribed him with a big amount, and the cop said, "Oh, I'm going to write you up for bribery too." They came to the judge, and the Yid was thinking, he's going to catch me for bribery and Genevis. I don't know, what am I going to do? Well, he says, he has a cup. The judge says, you bribed him. Why'd you give him so much money? He says, it was Erev Shabbos. Shabbos said, if you have so much money, one of the dinim is that you give it to a guy, if you know a guy, to watch it for you. And who's more reliable than a cop? So I gave it to the cop. So the judge says, okay, let me call in Rav. He asked the Rav, what's the halacha? He didn't tell him what happened. Tell me what happens if the judge asked this Jewish Rav, he asked him, what happens if right before Shabbos you have money and do you have to put it in the street? What do you do with it? He says you give it to a reliable non-Jew, or you find a place, you walk less than 4 hours and you hide it. So when he heard that, he says, if he would trust the cop That's why he gave the money. Probably that's why he gave him the whole money. Probably he's an honest Jew, and they let him off the hook completely. Have a uvda min hadai.
These stories fabricated.
Okay, that's kimacha. Yeah, it could have happened.
Asa's favorite.
That's what he did, this guy Simcha. He
I
told the
told
judge.
you the same thing. I
The
have a
judge
similar.
said a guy that went to
Similar
kill him,
story.
he's not a gunner.
Okay.
He said, I took it and later I bought it
So
back.
we have the same
I put it
story.
in the wrong place, he said.
Here it's with tefillin, here it's with money. Okay, ahava uvda. I just applied it to the Gemara. Ahava uvda b'nadoi. There was a story in Nadoi. V'amar Shmuel Chamashari, and Shmuel said, in Nadoi, but Nadoi is different. Now, it was not Rav Yisrael that lived there, so you can't say Rav Yisrael Gambier. It was Chatzi. So Shmuel said the wine is mutter. Says Gemara Keman can have a lazer. Nama Safik Biyah Torah. Safik Biyah Torah. What does that mean? It's not we learned in the Mishnah in Tanis. Hanichnes lebika b'meisak shomim. Somebody enters into a valley. A valley is that it has a whole bunch of fields, and in one of the fields there was a cave. So in the winter time, it's a din like a Rosh Hashanah. You don't have a lot of people going there because the plants are growing. So you don't. The people don't want you to step on it.
Because of toll, right?
Because of valley. Toll. Yeah,
Toll.
toll. Yeah. So Gemara, the Yadu sheyesh tuma beside the planet. But it was known that in one of the fields there was for sure a cave. And a person said, "Halachti b'makmalos." I went to this valley, to this toll of Aveni Yadeim, and Nachnasti. Lo says Nachnasti. I don't know if I entered that field where the cave was or not. I just know I went into the valley where there's a whole 100 fields, but I don't know if I went into the field which had the cave.
To the right one.
To the right one. So Rebbe Lazayim is Safik Biyah. That's a Safik if he ever entered the field where the Tumah is. And in such a case, when there's a Safik, so it's Torah, even B'Shus HaYochid, if it's Safik Biyah. Safik Biyah is not called a Sakseka, but it's a very strong Safik that even in a Shus HaYochid, we're going to say Torah. Safik Maga, if it's a case where he for sure went into the field, he went into the field where the cave was, but it's a Safik if he touched the cave or not. Then he's Tameh, in a Shus HaYochid.
He went into the field.
Where the cava was, but he doesn't know if he touched the cava. That's called Safik Maga. Safik Biyah means it's a Safik if he even entered that field. It's in the valley. So this case is a Safik Biyah. He's saying it's the it's mutter.
So why is it Safik Maga Tameh and Safik Biyah?
Because Safik Maga he's already in the field where the cava was, and by such a Safik Tumah V'Shasayach is Tameh. Normally Safik Tumah V'Shasayach is Tameh. Safik Biyah is a Safik if he even entered. So in such a case, we say it's Torah B'Shus HaYochid. Our case is a Safik Biyah because we don't even know if it was a guy. It could. I'm sorry. It could have been a Yid who touched or opened the barrels. Who was the Ganav? So that's called Safik Biyah. Says Gemara Loy. It's not true. Shani Hasam Din Ador. The reason why it was Mutter is a whole different reason. Even the Ika the Paschal L'Shuma Meina. Since he opened so many barrels, it could have been they were opening barrels to see if there's money. The barrels could have been a decoy to hide money in it. So that's what he was opening barrel after barrel.
Like you send money
The label. Yeah.
So what's the reason that's mutter?
Oh my gosh. Okay. My father told me the story. Yeah.
Then it's mutter, the wine.
Then it's mutter. They weren't out to touch the wine, to drink the wine. They were out for the money. So have a late Safik Sveika.
Where's the money? The money sinks to the bottom.
No, it's a decoy. It could be it wasn't wine. They were opening a barrel after barrel. They weren't interested in the wine. They were interested in finding money. So have a late Sveika.
What's the decoy?
The decoy is that it looks like there's wine in the barrel, but really there would be money in it. They made it look like it's a wine barrel, but it was money. Some of them had
there
money.
Was no wine inside.
There was, but they were looking for the money.
They didn't for the wine.
So it's a svek, he says. Number one, it could be it was a yid. Number two, even if it's a goy, after the goy touched it, he was looking for the money. He was not looking to drink wine.
There was no drugs in there?
It was it's not, so he went to the next barrel. No money, right? Huh? Yes. Ahir Avisa, there was this little girl, the Ishtaka, the Habba Beidani. That there was a story with a little girl that was found between the barrels of wine. And she was holding on her hands, you saw the foam of wine, like little kids like to play with bubbles. And they don't know really the halacha, they don't know the inyan of yain nesach. The wine is mutter. They say that she took the bubbles from inside the barrel. The lake kesu, and even though there's no more, it says the lake su, even though there's no more foam, no more bubbles. We're going to say that she got it one time. It overflowed and it fell into her hand. That's how she got it. The bubbles, the foam. But she didn't touch the wine inside.
Who's doing that?
A girl, a Geisha girl. Yeah. Another story. There was this head general that came in with the soldiers into Nada, and they opened up a whole bunch of barrels. When Avdivi came from Eretz Yisrael, the exact same story happened in front of Rabbi Lezer, and he said it's mutter. I don't know why Rabbi Lezer said it's mutter. Mishum the Savalak Rabbi Lezer, I'm a Safik Biyatar. Is it because it could be it was Yidden, so it's a Safik Biyah? The soldiers were Jews. Or Mishum the Sava, or because he holds Ruba the Hazle Bahade Pomusa Yisonino. Or he says, no, even more so. It was Reiv, Jews in that area, and that group of soldiers, and that's why it was mutter. High Safik Biyah. How could you say it's a Safik Biyah? Because maybe it was Yidden. But Stam, he says, Stam soldiers in those times, in the Goyish armies were Goyim. They were Goyim, B'chlal. Safik Magahu. So it's mamish a Safik if the Goyim touched it or not, that's all. So if it's a Safik Maga, it should be Asa. So you want to know, keeping them in the Fatche Tuva, since they opened up more than they could drink, so there was a different Siba. Eima Adait the Mamayna Pascal. That we say that their intentions were for the money.
Also the soldiers.
So yeah, because they opened too much. If they opened so many barrels more than they need to drink, they were looking for the money. The Safik Biyah.
So why can't it be us if you open the barrel? Because you didn't touch it? If you open the barrel?
Right, they didn't touch the wine.
You
Just open, no money, next. Right. The Safik Biyah dummy. And therefore it's considered Safik Biyah. Ahim Musvisa, another story, the Masala Ikilidah. Yeah. There was a story with a woman
Which
who.
number are we up to?
Number 12.
No, not 12.
Home Siva is number
How
12.
many more stories we have here?
Home Siva is
How
number
much
12.
stories?
Yeah, okay, if you say so.
I say so. Our scroll says.
Oh, so there you go. So there was a story with a woman who sold wine, and she gave this key to Leivetz Chachamim to watch it. I'm Rabbi Yitzchak, I'm Rabbi Lezer. We have a similar. So the shaila was: should we be concerned? Maybe the guy went into the store and opened up and touched the wine. She had the key. I'm Rabbi Yitzchak, I'm Rabbi Lezer. A similar story was in the base of Matis. They only gave it to watch the key, but not to go into the store, and not to go inside. And therefore, the guy who knew that if she's inside this store, inside the shul, will be considered as a ganef, and she'll go to jail. So therefore, the wine is mutter. We also had learned in the following Mishnah: one who gives over keys to Ha'aretz, to Ha'reisa, the Torah food of the Talmud Chacham Tahiris, and we don't have to worry that the Ha'aretz went into his house and was matamid the food. Because the Chavah only gave him the key to watch, but not to go into the house. So Hashta Tahiris Tahira is madach, the food that we were not choshev the guy touched to make it us, or Yayin Nesach for sure. By Yayin Nesach, we're going to say for sure it's going to be mutter.
Why is that?
In fact, the Gemara Lemema the Dinei Taris Alima from Yayin Nesach. You want to say that the dinim of Torah food that becomes tummy or not is more stringent than Yayin Nesach? Yayin Nesach is the most stringent. So you want to know in the food is more. The Hitman that we learned. chotzer shel chaluka b'msipas. A chotzer of a chava and chava is a Talmud Chacham with the Amaretz. They had one chotzer, and they put like a marker to divide the chotzer in between. Amarav ta'aris of tmeis. The peiris of the chava became tamei because the Amaretz could easily touch it. He doesn't have to even go over so much. It's just markers. But when it comes to a guy, he won't touch it. Yeah, he won't because he's afraid. He's going to get caught as a ganav. Rabbi Yechonah but Rabbi Yechonah argues. He says even the food is tired. Okay, Akasha on Rav. Rav says that the food becomes tmeis. So, in fact, we can only talk about Rav now. So, yeah, Rabbi Yechonah said the story. Let's say there's two fields. Here's the outside. The outer field belongs to Amaretz. The inner field belongs to the Chaver. So the Amaretz is not allowed to go into the Chaver's Rishus. The Chaver has to go to the Amaretz Rishus in both ways. Right, but for the Amaretz has no right to go there. The Talmud Chacham can leave his peiros out. He doesn't have to worry. Nothing becomes tamei. Even though the Amaretz can easily touch it, so we said he can easily. Yeah, it's only a marker that it's two chatzeris, but he can easily walk in. And we said it's tamei. Rav says if he can easily, the Amaretz can easily go to the chatzah of the Talmud Chacham. It's tamei. It's different. There. It's two separate chatzeris. The outer chatzah belongs to the Amaretz. The inner chatzah belongs to the Talmud Chacham. So it's two separate chatzeris. If he enters into the chatzah of the Talmud Chacham, he's a ganav. Here, but our case we're talking about is one chatzah. But the Talmud Chacham says, let's make a little divider, put in little pegs. So this is nicht the zwei chatzeris. So he feels comfortable to touch the other side. He's not called a ganav. He says it's really one chatzah. We bought it. Both our names are on the deed, but here was two separate chatzeres. You want to touch my coming here, and I'll bring you a rai against Rabbi Yechonah, who says it's tahir. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel oima gagesh hal chava l'mayla me gagesh hal aretz l'shal am aretz. He had a rooftop of the Talmud Chacham which was higher than the rooftop of the am aretz. Oiseh chava sheteir sham peiros menich sham kelim. He's allowed to leave his peiros, his kelim, everything. Ubavad shaleitei yod shal am aretz magas l'sham. Provided that the Amaretz cannot reach the upper roof where the Talmud Chacham is. Kash Rabbi Yechonah is a Kash Rabbi Yechonah because Rabbi Yechonah said that it's mashma. If he could touch it, it would be tamei. And Rabbi Yechonah says even if he could touch it, it's tired. Rabbi Yechonah is going to answer Shani Hassam. This lady Shtamuti. There it's different. Why did we answer it? Because the Amaretz has a reason to say why his hands went in there. Went up. I was measuring the height. He can come up. I want to measure it. He wanted to see. He wanted to know. Okay, so that's why it's going to be Yosef because he can get away with it. Toshma, I'll bring you. I'm going to ask you on Rav now. He says. What's if Gagish Chachava B'tzad Gagish Shal Amaretz? Now when the rooftops are mamish equal, he says the Chava can leave his peiros. You don't have to worry it's going to become tamei. Rav says if the Amaretz can put his hand there, it's right away tamei. And here we said it's not tamei. It's mamish the same level. He can touch it, and Rav says it should become tamei. And here we said it's not tamei. We find Rav says Rabbi Shimon Gamliel holds like me. I know Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. I say in this case I hold like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. It's talking about a case where the Amaretz could not reach the Chaver's peiros, even though it's the same, but it was along a higher gate. He couldn't reach it. Okay, we'll stop it. Higher gate, yeah.